A lot of you are wasting your time trying to get rent-to-rent deals through letting agents. Why? Because you're unable to pass their credit checks, their referencing, their affordability. So on this video, I'm gonna break down exactly what you need to know in terms of if you're even gonna be able to do deals with letting agents, and if you are, how you're gonna overcome the snags that they're gonna throw at you. Simon here, and welcome to the biggest rent-to-rent channel on YouTube. We've got over 100 videos dedicated to rent-to-rent. So if you love rent-to-rent, smash the subscribe button. You're in the right place. So a lot of you want to get deals through letting agents because, let's face it, they are the lowest hanging fruit. They're on Rightmove. You can see their signs when you drive through your goldmine area. And the problem you're facing is because you're a new business, you're brand new, because you've got no experience, because maybe your business hasn't got any income, maybe you personally haven't got any income, you're getting stuck and you're wasting time. So I'm going to share with you 5 key things that you're going to need to take into consideration to overcome this. But before I do, let me give you a couple of simple pointers. The first one is it's always going to be easier direct to the vendor. And that's simply because there is going to be no checks. It will be lower startup costs. It will be easier application process, okay? And you're not going through a middle person. You're direct to the source. So if you're starting, I would strongly recommend actually starting with direct to vendor if possible. If you do want to go through letting agents, what you need to do is you need to make sure that you or somebody you know has the affordability to act as a personal guarantor. And the way you're going to calculate this is you're going to look at the monthly rent, i.e. £1,000 a month, and you're going to times it by 36, which is £36,000. If you don't earn £36,000 per year, you are going to pass the affordability check for that property. So if you're not in employment, unless you've got a friend or a family member that's willing to be guarantor, I would personally just focus on direct to vendor. But anyway, let's get into the deep dive and go through these 5 key points. So number 1, you're going to want to pay their holding rent, pay their fee or whatever it is as quickly as possible. Because as soon as you've viewed the property, you put an offer in, say yes, they will say, okay, here's the app form. As soon as we've received the holding rent, we will take the property off the market. This means until they receive that, the property is still available. So do yourself a favor, pay this quickly, because once they've secured the let, they're much more likely to work with you on going through the referencing check because they want to secure the let. Number 2, when they do send these app forms across, a lot of the time, it won't all be applicable to you. It will talk about your occupation, your salary, and you'll be thinking, well, it's my company. So if they do send that in the short term, just put your personal information. Once again, if you're unemployed and you've put in like no income, you're just going to get stopped at the door. But if you've got an income, you've got a job, it's far best to put your personal stuff on because you're going to be the one that ends up being the guarantor anyway. If it is a legitimate company-let application form, then you need to be honest and just be upfront and say, look, we are a new company, but I'm going to be acting as a personal guarantor and here's my information. The third way of overcoming these hurdles so that you can get a deal with agents over the line is to have a guarantor in situ. So I'm talking about a family member. I'm talking about, a friend. I'm talking about a colleague, anybody that can show the affordability, has got good credit, will pass the checks, and just say they're going to personally guarantee the rent. Disclaimer, if you are asking somebody or you yourself are going to personally guarantee the rent, you then or they become liable for the rent. So be careful. I remember when I first started, I managed to be my guarantor for the first deal, but then I needed somebody else and I was speaking to other people and trying to get help. And one thing you might find is sometimes they'll only accept a company director to be a guarantor. So it makes sense if your partner had good income that, for example, they was part director with you. Some companies won't accept a director. They want someone external to the business for liability reasons. But overall, if you personally can't guarantee it due to your situation, think about who might be able to help you on that, and then just make sure, whatever you do, you're gonna guarantee the rent, right? Right? Number 4 is, rather than focusing on big agents with great systems and big referencing checks and outsourcing and all these things, you could just go for an independent, smaller agent. Okay, I've had smaller agents, interestingly enough, where they've just signed on behalf of the landlord. There's been no deposits, no checks, and they've just been like, there you go, Simon, take it off my table, take it off my plate. So even though I am saying that, you know, a lot of the time these checks will be pretty tricky, don't give up. Keep networking, keep building relationships, because I've had situations where there was no checks and we literally did 2 deals and he was just happy to get them off his books. And last but not least, the 5th way to overcome these agency hurdles is actually to be willing to put more rent down. So sometimes if you can't show proof of earnings or, you know, a guarantor, they will accept 3 or 6 months rent up front. And I know what you're thinking, bloody hell, that's really steep. And yes, it is a pain for cash flow. But when you do the math, it doesn't make any difference, because whether you pay the rent up front or not, you're going to be paying it. So that can be one way to get a deal across the line, build a relationship, get that trust, that know, like, and trust factor up, and then maybe they will appease you more in the future. And of course, I have to hit you with a bonus. The bonus is this: whilst the letting agent is, you know, commissioned to do these checks, to find the right tenants, the landlord isn't obliged to listen. This means that the landlord can make their own decision, and if they want to bypass some of the agent's referencing, not that they would, they can. So don't give up. Just keep going. It will be a numbers game. Okay? It will be a numbers game. But in short, if you or somebody near you can't be the personal guarantor, can't show the affordability and decent credit, then I would personally be focusing on smaller agents and of course focusing on direct to vendor deals. So that's all from me in this video. I hope you found it useful. If you love content like this, hit the subscribe button. Hit me up on Instagram, DM me, let me know what you want me to talk about on this channel, because I'm doing this channel for you, okay? So anything you need, I'm here to try and help. Don't wait 25 years. Get creative.